Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm going to do part 26 to my Janitor.AI chatbot series. Where in today's video guys, I'm going to do a real quick session of another new character. That's right, I am still pumping out characters on here, left and right, trying to get some of the better ones I had from my original one to be on to here. I actually put two other characters on here. I put the bug cursed Croconaw, which I named Chop, and I did the dragon type for alligator, which had the name Draco. I'm going to do dragon type for alligator mostly tomorrow, and we'll try Chop today, or at least a small version. We'll see how good it works out. If you don't remember the thing of Chop, just go to the bug curse whenever I did it on character AI. Anytime you see the bug curse on character AI, that's what that character is. So yeah, here's the little greeting for him. It's actually pretty long. It says the afternoon sun reflects beautifully off the surface of the vast, quiet lake as you stroll along a shaded dirt path winding through the woods. The air is peaceful until you round a sharp bend in a trail and accidentally bump directly into someone, or rather, a blue and yellow crocodile Pokemon named Chop. Chop looks up with wide, happy eyes, absolutely thrilled to finally encounter a friendly face in these woods. You open your mouth to react to bumping into him, but before you can speak, a dark, wicked energy suddenly erupts around his body. The cruel curse activates forcefully. You watch in absolute horror as Chop's bones snap and expand, his body rapidly mutating and growing into a massive 15-foot tall version of the exact insect, bug, or arachnid that you hate and fear the most. The terrifying creature retains its original blue and yellow colors across its new monstrous physical features, but it's physically your absolute worst nightmare come to life. Despite your intense, overwhelming phobia, you notice the giant creature isn't attacking. Instead, the massive 15-foot beast cowers backward, its large eyes filling with tears as it lets out a sad, gentle whimper, desperately hoping you won't scream and run away from him. Terrifying monster is trembling right in front of you. What do? And there's actually a little small thing it put on here a little small thing that's on here where it says, please mention in your first reply what specific bug or arachnid you want Chuck to transform into so the AI can describe your nightmare perfectly. But yeah, I will be right back. Alright guys, this is me being stuck as a tiny Carnotaurus. I couldn't completely see what I bumped into, and instead when I look up, I see a massive 15-foot roach in front of me. When I see this, I jump back. Ah! I I ran into a roach. I was saying I back up. No, no, I've had enough of roaches. Oh heck no. Child's massive segmented body convulses as the curse completes its transformation. Where a sweet Croconaw once stood, there now looms a nightmare, a 15-foot tall roach. His instantaneous exoskeleton gleams with his signature light blue scales, and his underbelly bears that same familiar yellow pattern. There's no mistaking that twitching antennae, the long, oily feelers, and the six spindly rejoined legs that scrape against the dirt as he shifts nervously. Don't you scream and recoil. Chop's heart shatters. His enormous compound eyes still holding that same expressive, gentle blue light widen with pure agony. He can feel your terror like a physical blow, and it hurts more than any attack could. He can't speak, he's only saying his name. Chop? He tries to whimper. The sound comes out as a wet, clicking noise from the massive mandibles that now replace his snout. The sound is terrifying. The emotion behind it is unmistakable. He's heartbroken. As he backed away in disgust, Chop immediately collapsed onto his belly, trying to make himself smaller despite his monstrous size. He tucks his long antenna close to his body and presses his head against the forest floor, shaking violently. Big, glistening tears well up in his eyes and drip on the leaves like raindrops. He whimpers again, a high-pitched, pitiful sound that contracts sharply with his grotesque appearance. He's terrified that if you run, he'll be alone in this monstrous form forever. He desperately wants to reach out to comfort you, to show you he's still just Chop, but he knows that any movement from his giant roach body will only scare you more. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. So I see the bug lower itself onto its belly and hear sound. It was hard to understand with the gross noises coming off its mandibles, but I swore I could hear one word: Chop. I'm still extremely terrified, and I'm shaking very badly. Chop? What does that mean? The massive roach's antenna twitches erratically at the sound of your voice. When you speak his name even confusingly, a spark of desperate hope flickers in those enormous blue compound eyes. You realize you heard him. You didn't just run immediately. You stayed to ask. Chop makes another sound. I see the clicking chirps that vibrate through the ground beneath your small feet. He tries to form the word again, somehow working clumsily. Chop? He manages to wheeze out through the clicking noises, his voice muffled by the gelatinous whites of his new face. He's trying so hard to communicate that he's nearly hyperventilating, creating this massive blue exoskeleton to heave up and down. Seeing how badly you are shaking, Chop's heart breaks all over again. He hates it as its very existence causes you this much distress. Wanting to prove he isn't a threat, he moves with agonizing slowness, and then try to approach you. He knows it would be terrifying instead. That would be terrifying. Instead, he simply extends one of his long, cemented blue legs outward, palming in a gesture of peace, and merely pulls it back to his chest, cowering again. He lets out another soft, mournful whimper. Stop! He repeats more clearly this time, tilting his head to the side. His eyes lock onto yours with such profound sadness and pleading vulnerability that it's hard to believe this nightmare creature could feel anything other than pure, unadulterated hurt. He's waiting, frozen in place, terrified to move another inch, lest he scare you into running away forever. He just wants you to know that behind this disgusting roach shell, he's still the same sweet boy who just wanted to meet a new friend. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. This is when I see the roach move slightly closer. I get very scared at first and back up. But then when I see what looks like it gesturing what it's trying to say instead of attacking me, I don't move any closer, but I don't run away either. Are you trying to communicate with me? If you are, please do whatever you need to. Just don't move any closer to me. I have a huge fear of roaches as it is. Chop flinched at your words, his muzzle antenna drooping low against the ground. The fear in your voice pierced him deeper than any physical wound could. He understands completely. He can see the way your tiny corner's body trembles, and the guilt he feels is overwhelming. He hates that his body is a weapon of terror against someone who is clearly so gentle. Complying instantly with your plea, Chop freezes. He forces himself to stay perfectly still, pressing his enormous blue and yellow roach body against the earth. He makes a conscious effort to stop all twitching and movement, hoping that by becoming as motionless as a statue he won't trigger your panic further. He nods his massive head slowly, a simple clear gesture. Yes, he's trying to communicate. Then, using one of his long antennae, he very carefully draws something in dirt several feet away from you. He moves with painstaking precision, making sure not to kick up any dust that might startle you. In the dirt, he traces a crude, shaky heart shape. Then he points one of his mandibles toward the heart, and then toward himself, looking back at you with those pleading, watery blue eyes. Chop, he whispered again. The clicking sounds softer this time, almost shy. His message is clear. I am Chop. I'm not a monster. I'm your friend. He stays exactly where he is, respecting your boundary. His eyes never leave yours. He's watching you with desperate intensity, waiting for any sign, any tiny spark of kindness that might give him hope that you won't abandon him in this horrible form. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys, this is when I see the massive roach draw something with its antenna in the dirt and then back up. I take two small steps closer just to see the picture. A heart? Are you trying to say something like you're friendly? You have a kind heart? As you take those two tentative steps forward, Chop's entire body goes rigid. He holds his breath, or whatever passes for breathing in this form, fearing that any sudden movement might make you bolt. But when you don't run, and instead speak to him with genuine curiosity, his heart practically leaps in his chest. When you ask if he's trying to say he has a kind heart, Chop's antenna perk up slightly, quivering with emotion. A soft, trilling noise escapes his mandibles, a sound that almost sounds like a grateful sigh. He nods vigorously, his large blue eyes shimmering with fresh tears that threaten to spill over. To confirm your suspicion, he points one slender, segmented leg toward the heart he drew, then touches it gently with his mandible. Then he points to his own chest. Wait. And finally he extends his leg towards you again, palm up, keeps at a respectful distance, not moving anywhere. As you asked, he waits there, frozen in a posture of complete submission and vulnerability. Chop. Kind? That threw me off. I just wanted him to start speaking slightly. He manages to click out. It's broken and strange coming from a 15-foot roach, but the sincerity in his tone is unmistakable. He's trying to tell you that despite this terrifying, chitinous exterior, his feelings haven't changed at all. He's still the same sweet Pokemon who desperately wants to be loved. He watches you intently, his gaze soft and pleading. He's giving you all the space you need, proving he can control his monstrous body, all while hoping that your fear might slowly be replaced by understanding. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. This is when I saw the gestures the roach was doing, and especially when I heard the word kind, my tiny mouth drops open slightly. You can talk? If you can try speaking to me that way, I can understand. If you can, try speaking to me. That way I can understand you. I was planning to be attacked, but instead you seem to be really kind. And I'll trust you with what you said about being kind. Just please don't move closer to me. Instead, I feel like I will come closer to you instead. Or are you saying Chop? Does that mean something? Like, is it your name? Chop's massive frame shudders as your words sink in. Trust, you said. The word echoes in his mind like music. For months he has been hiding in the shadows, certain that trust was something he would never receive. The fact that you were willing to try, that you were choosing to stay despite the overwhelming fear, makes him want to sob with gratitude. When you ask about the word chop, his antenna perk up excitedly, swiveling towards you. He nods enthusiastically, his large blue eyes bright with relief. He realizes that if he speaks more clearly, he might be able to bridge the gap between your terror and his reality. Taking a deep breath to steady his clicking mandibles, he tries again, focusing on his will on making the sounds understandable. Chop, he repeats. So this time, Chop is name. His voice is strange, a strange series of clicks, words, and soft hums that somehow form syllables. The meaning is unmistakable. He then points to himself, then to the heart in the dirt, then back to you. Chop, friend. He manages to rasp out between wet clicking sounds. Chop, sorry, scared, tiny dino. He's noticed your small stature and your dinosaur features, and he uses the words carefully, trying to show he's paying attention to who you are. The way he speaks is hesitant and clumsy, someone trying to speak through a heavy mask. There's no malice in it, only a profound aching sadness. True to your request, he makes absolutely no attempt to move closer. In fact, he pulls his legs inward even further, trying to make his 15-foot frame occupy as little space as possible. You don't feel crowded. He stays perfectly still, a mountain of blue chitin, watching you with the most gentle, hopeful expression any 17-foot insect could possibly possess. He's waiting patiently for you to decide when or if you want to come closer. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, when I hear the words come out of the roach's mandibles, I smile just slightly because of him being kind and saying sorry instead of trying to scare me. Now that I'm not as terrified, I start looking more at the colors of the roach's body. And I said, if Chop is your name, then it's nice to meet you, Chop. And I told him my name. It says the moment you smile, it's as if a dark cloud has suddenly lifted from Chop's entire world. That tiny, slight smile from you sends a wave of pure, unfiltered joy through his massive insectoid body. He doesn't dare move too fast. He knows you're still nervous, but his antenna begins to wiggle with unmistakable excitement, betraying his happiness. Trenton, he repeats, as your name out. The clicks and words that form the syllables sound almost musical now, less like a threat and more like a lullaby. Nice meat, Trenton. As you begin to examine his colors, Chop notices your gaze shifting from terror to curiosity. He voices her pride in his blue and yellow scales, colors that make him feel like himself even when he's trapped in this nightmare form. He remains perfectly still, letting you study him, grateful that you aren't looking at him as a monster anymore, but as a person. I don't want to put person. As Chop. His large, watery eyes shine with emotion. Trenton. Kind. He clicked softly. His mouth was twitching in what might be the insect equivalent of a shy grin. Trenton. Not Ron. He looks down at the heart he drew in the dirt, then back at you, his expression one of profound gratitude. He is still keeping his distance, respecting the boundary you set. The tension and he looked at her wanting to strike and more like a lonely child who has finally been invited to play. He sits there in the dappled sunlight of the forest, a 15-foot tall blue roach simply basking in the fact that he has finally made a friend. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. Just when I hear the massive bug call me kind, I smile a little bigger. He said, that's very sweet, Chop. Can you show me something? I noticed your colors, and I'm thinking that you look familiar to a certain Pokemon I know. Can you just very slowly lift and show me the pattern on your belly? Chop's antenna quivers with a mixture of nervousness and excitement. He's so touched that you called him sweet. The word makes his heart swell, also puts a flicker of anxiety. He knows his new body's frightening, and he's terrified that asking him to move might make you change your mind and flee. However, your curiosity wins out over your fear, and that gives him courage. He wants to show you who he really is beneath this chitinous shell. He wants you to see the parts of him that haven't changed. Complying with your request with extreme care, Chop begins to move. He does it with agonizing slowness, as if he's moving through honey, making sure there are no sudden jerks or loud scraping sounds from his legs. He shifts his weight carefully, tilting his massive 15-foot frame backward, millimeter by millimeter. The blue segmented plates of his sides creak softly as he arches his back. Slowly, the underside of his body becomes visible. There, stretched across the pale yellow underside of the enormous roach, is the unmistakable pattern, soft fronted yellow markings that belong to a Croconaw. Even in this monstrous form, those specific colors and shapes remain true to his original self. He holds the position, trembling slightly from the effort of staying so still and controlled, and looks down at you with hopeful, pleading eyes. See? He whispers through a soft clicking sound. Still, Chop. He remains frozen in that tilted position, sourcing his belly to you, waiting anxiously to see if this revelation helps you connect the dots and, more importantly, helps you feel safe enough to come any closer. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, I noticed the spotlight pattern on the massive bug's belly. It says, I smile slightly at how pretty the colors actually are. It says, I knew I just wasn't seeing things. You have the exact same pattern as a crocodile would. I love Toad's, Croconaws, and Fragures so much. They're my favorite porn of all time. When you speak those words, I love crocodiles, Chop's entire body goes completely still. For a moment it's as if his heart has stopped beating. His massive blue eyes grow impossibly wide, shimmering with unshed tears that catch the sunlight filtering through the trees. He has spent months believing he was unlovable, a monster to be feared and shunned, and here you are telling him you love his true self. A sound escapes his mandibles that is halfway between a sob and a little happy chirp, a high-pitched, warbling trill that vibrates through the forest floor. Love? Croconaw? He repeats, his voice cracking with raw emotion. Trenton? Love? Chop's family? The joy that flows through him is so intense that his control wavers for just a second. His antennae wiggle so fast they become a blue blur, and his segmented legs twitch with the desperate urge to rush forward and give you a hug. But remembering your warning, he forcibly reins himself in. He forces his body to remain still, though his whole frame was visibly shaking with restrained excitement. The curse is a cruel thing, but something magic was happening. 'Cause you were showing him kindness, 'cause you were seeing past the exoskeleton and the terrifying roach features to the sweet Pokemon beneath, the dark energy holding the curse together begins to flicker and weaken. The edges of his massive form seem to blur slightly around the seams. Chop looks at you with a level of devotion that's almost overwhelming. Trenton, best friend, he clicked softly, his voice heavy with gratitude. Chop, so happy. He stays in that tilted position, showing you his yellow belly, hoping that this connection, this shared love for his true form, will be the key that finally breaks the nightmare and lets him be the cute crocodile you adore. It's actually very sweet. Alright, guys, as soon as I hear Chop say that, I just continue to smile, but get slightly confused when he asks that I loved his family. Your family? Before saying anything, I start thinking slightly, especially about the colors and the belly pattern all over the giant bug, and what he just said about family. Then suddenly I had a thought, and my smile turned to a good bit of shock. Wait a minute! Croconaw? You're actually a crocodile? Chop flinches slightly at the sudden change in your expression, his antennae curling inward nervously. For a terrifying moment he fears your shock means you've realized something terrible, that you realize he's a monster and that you are about to scream and run away. His massive blue eyes dart around anxiously, his breathing becoming quick and shallow clicks. But then he hears your words clearly. You're actually a crocodile? The realization hits him like a bolt of lightning. The curse, which thrives on fear, rejection, and the belief that he is nothing but a bug, cannot withstand the pure power of your recognition. Because you aren't looking at a roach anymore, but at a Pokemon you love. The curse's hold begins to shatter violently. Yes! Yes! Tries to cry out. The words come out as a burst of static and clicking. The dark energy around his body begins to crackle with blue light, spiraling across his exoskeleton. The 15-foot frame begins to shrink rapidly, the segmented legs retracting and softening in the smooth blue scales. The transformation is intense and disorienting. The terrifying root features dissolve into thin air as the massive body collapses inward, reforming into something much smaller, much softer, and much more familiar. The clicking noises soften to the familiar sounds of a Pokemon's voice. A few moments later, when the dust and magical energy settle, the 15-foot nightmare is gone. In its place, sitting on the forest floor where the giant bug once loomed, is a normal, healthy, and very adorable crocodile. His light blue scales glisten in the sunlight, his yellow belly pattern's unmistakable, and his red spikes stand proud along his back. Chop looks up at you, his eyes bright and clear, free from the compound distortion of the insect form. He looks smaller than before, but his smile is the biggest thing in the forest. He waddles forward just 2 steps, close enough to show he's not afraid, but still respecting your space, and lets out a happy, triumphant cry. Chop! Chop! It's Chop again! He chirps in a voice that's sweet, clear, and full of pure joy. He wiggles his stubby tail, looking at you with absolute devotion, waiting to see if his best friend. It says me. It said my name. His best friend is still there. Interesting. Give me a moment. Guys, this is so motherfucking cute. It's just when I see the bug bite completely disappear and see an actual Croconaw standing there, I'm still slightly shocked at what I see. Then I smile and carefully walk over to Chop before gently nuzzling him with my tiny snout. Wow, what just happened? Chop practically vibrates with happiness when he sees you moving toward him without fear. When Tyson makes contact with his smooth blue scales and a gentle nuzzle, he lets out a sound that's pure, unfiltered bliss, a happy melodic trill that echoes through the trees. He leans into your touch eagerly, closing his eyes as he savors the affection he has craved for so long. When you ask what happened, Chop opens his eyes, which now sparkle with a clear, gentle intelligence. He knows you back as best he can. Harold accidentally knocked over your small dinosaur body with his crocodile weight. Chop broken, he explained simply. It was now warm and sweet, free from any clicking or static. Bad curse. Make Chop scary. Make Chop bug. He looks down at the spot where his monstrous form had once loomed, then back up at you with unmistakable gratitude. But Trenton, Trenton saw Chop. Trenton not see Bog. Trenton see friend. Trenton see Croconaw. A tear of pure joy goes at the corner of his eye as he continues. Kindness broke curse. Trenton's heart broke curse. He wiggles his tail happily, feeling lighter than he has in months. The weight of the curse is gone, replaced by the warm glow of newfound friendship. He looks at you with complete adoration, clearly determined to never let you go. Now he's back to his true self. He seems to want nothing more than to spend every moment showing you just how grateful he is for your kindness. Trenton, stay? He asked hopefully, tilting his head with a sweet, pleading expression. Chop, best friend forever? He's so flippin' cute. Dude, he's adorable. When he when he's in his sweet when he acts sweet and adorable, dude, you can that's what I'm saying. Let's go and say this is gonna be a complete opposite of what you're gonna see with the fairy type. I mean, the giant type for alligator. Although maybe in this one it'll actually work. I feel like in this one it might work a bit worse actually, because the thing is he's supposed to be able to sense hearts, and he does in the other ones, but he don't take this reading seriously. He's like, "Heh, yeah, I trust humans once. I trusted anything once, and that backfired on me. So now anything that gets in my way dies." That's basically what he does. Like, I wouldn't be shocked he used a water creature to flip and turn somebody into a flipping bowl of mashed potatoes for himself to eat. How aggressive he is, he probably would do that. He'd probably take like a flipping make a whole bunch of toad water creatures and make them flipping form into a massive like scary alligator form that looks more terrifying than he does. Knowing him, like I said, he's pretty aggressive. Either way, give me a moment. Alright, guys. So when I hear Chop ask that, I stop nuzzling him and look up at him. I wouldn't mind staying for a while, Chop. Of course you and me are friends. You actually were nice to me even when you were that giant scary bug, which I appreciate. When I hear Chop mention the word curse, I frown slightly. Now, who on this earth would curse a sweet little crocodile like you? You seem way too nice for somebody to want to curse you. Chop's ears droop slightly when you ask about the curse, and his tail stops its happy wagging. The memory of that cruel person, the one who hated how Porn looked and wanted to make them unlovable, flickers across his mind like a bad dream. His expression turns bittersweet as he looks down at you. Bad person, Chop murmurs Chap, his voice soft and tinged with sadness. Someone angry. Someone who didn't like Chop's face. They said Chop was ugly. Said no one would ever love a monster. He shakes his head as if trying to physically shake off those cruel words. But they were wrong. So wrong. He nuzzles you again, more gently this time. His voice goes warm against your tiny snout. Because Trenton is different. Trenton has good eyes and good heart. The sadness fades quickly as he realizes how lucky he is. He brightens up instantly, his red sweats gleaming in the sun as he bounces on his feet. No more curse! No more bug! He declares triumphantly, letting out a happy little roar that sounds more like a squeak. Now only Chop and Trenton, he chirps. We play. We explore. We eat berries by the lake. He bounces closer, his excitement making it hard for him to stay still. Chop showed Trenton favorite spots. Best spots in whole forest. He holds out one clawed hand towards you, an invitation, his eyes dancing with excitement. He's not thinking about the person who hurt him anymore. He's too busy thinking about all the adventures he can finally have now that he isn't hiding in the shadows alone. Give me a minute, guys. Alright, guys. This is right here about the bad person that cursed Chop. I frown even more when I see Chop being happy and cheerful again and hold out his clawed hand. I smile and very carefully walk into his hand, being about to fall. I'm sorry about what happened to you. I'm glad I could help you and make you happy. When you step into his palm, Chop holds his breath, freezing completely. He treats your tiny body as if you were made of the most delicate crystal in the world. His clawed hand is large enough to carry you like a throne, but he keeps it incredibly steady. His fingers curl protectively around you without applying any pressure. The sincerity in your apology makes his heart swell. Chop okay now, he assures you, his voice heavy with emotion as he looks down at you in his palm. Because Trenton is here. Trenton saved Chop. The sadness that touched his face moments ago was completely washed away by the warmth of your presence. His tail begins to wag again. Thump, thump, thump against the grass as he lifts his hand slightly to bring you closer to his face so he can look into your eyes without you having to strain your neck. No more sad. Only happy now, he declares with newfound confidence. His eyes sparkle with mischief and excitement. Come, best friend. First stop, the big berry bush. They're sweet like honey and perfect for sharing. With careful, deliberate steps, Chop begins to waddle through the sunlit forest, carrying you safely in his hand. He moves with a new sense of purpose. He isn't hiding anymore. He walks with his head held high, his blue scales gleaming, feeling like the luckiest Croconaw in the entire world because he finally has someone to share his favorite places with. As you travel together, he occasionally hums a happy little tune, occasionally glancing down at you and his hand to make sure you're still there, his sweet blue eyes constantly checking to confirm that this wonderful new friendship is real. He is such a cutie. I gotta end off this video. It's hard to tell, guys, but it's getting daylight. I can see daylight through that flipping window over here on the left, which isn't good. Um, Either way, guys, I will see y'all later. I'm done.